This is the latest in baseball news and rumors. First up, the Tampa Bay Rays face a major dilemma for the 2025 season: where to play after Hurricane Milton caused severe damage to Tropicana Field. With their new ballpark not set to open until 2028, the Rays are going to need a temporary home. St. Petersburg is evaluating the cost of repairing the Trop, but the city's insurance coverage may not be enough to justify the investment, especially with other citywide damages to handle, so repairs are not guaranteed. The Trop's roof, already past its expected lifespan, is a major concern. If the roof's condition leads insurers to deny the claim, the city could be left with a massive repair bill it might not want to pay. Enter the Rays' potential new home: Orlando's ESPN Wild World of Sports complex. The 9,500-seat stadium ticks many boxes. It's within 90 miles of St. Petersburg and has a history of hosting MLB games. In fact, the Rays played there in 2007 and 2008. The team's desire to build a presence in the Orlando market could also make it an attractive option. While other venues like Steinbrenner Field or even Miami's Lone Depot Park have been floated, none seem as feasible as the Orlando option, especially for a multi-year relocation. So come 2025, the Rays could be trading Tropicana's quirky catwalks for the magic of Walt Disney World. Next, the Baltimore Orioles are gearing up for a pivotal offseason, with owner David Rubenstein making it clear that he's all in on bringing a championship to Baltimore. In a candid interview with NPR, Rubenstein, who's now 75 years old, emphasized that time is of the essence. He said, "I'm 75. It's unlikely I'll be doing this for 20 more years, so I've got to speed up the effort to get a World Series a lot sooner than maybe some younger owners would." That urgency signals that the Orioles are likely preparing to make big moves this winter. At an event in early October, Rubenstein reiterated his commitment to building a winning team, not just making money. When asked about boosting payroll and locking down the team's young stars with long-term deals, he didn't shy away from the challenge. "We're in the business of trying to win baseball games," and acknowledging that spending more money is part of that process. So the signs are all there of a busy offseason for Baltimore. One huge boost on the horizon for 2025 is the return of all-star closer Felix Bautista, who was a dominant force before undergoing Tommy John surgery in 2023. With Bautista expected to be back and fully ready for spring training, the Orioles bullpen will receive a major upgrade after struggling in his absence. Craig Kimbrell's meltdown in 2024 only highlighted how valuable Bautista's return will be. But what the Orioles need most is elite starting pitching, and they're expected to be aggressive in targeting big names like Blake Snell, Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Walker Buehler. With Rubenstein pushing for a World Series sooner rather than later, it would be a surprise if Baltimore does not make a splash this offseason, positioning themselves as serious contenders for 2025 and beyond. Next up, let's head over to the Minnesota Twins. The Twins' 2024 season spiraled into disaster, leading to a fourth-place finish in the AL Central despite a promising start. With fan morale at an all-time low after the team's epic collapse, the owners have now made the bombshell announcement that they're selling the team. The payroll is at the heart of this chaos. Heading into the offseason, the Twins are on track for a $139 million payroll, and this is after taking into consideration the rising arbitration values. However, team sources have revealed to the media that ownership won't go below the 2024 figure of $130 million, and it's all but certain that they won't exceed $130 million either. While this is slightly reassuring if true, it still leaves no room for upgrades. So who stays and who goes? The Twins must cut some salary to make any moves, and the trade market is the first place to look. Here are the top 5 trade candidates that could shake things up for Minnesota and help rebuild the team for the future. The first is catcher Christian Vazquez. Owed $10 million in 2025, Vazquez is the 4th highest paid player on the roster. At 33 years old, he's still a solid defensive catcher, but struggled mightily at the plate, batting just .221 with a weak .248 OBP. With the Twins needing flexibility, Vazquez could be shipped out to clear salary. Minnesota would likely need to either eat a chunk of his contract or include a good but not great prospect to make it appealing for another team. The second trade candidate for the Twins is starting pitcher Chris Paddack. Paddack has 1 year left at $7.5 million, but his injury-plagued 2024 means he didn't provide much value. A healthy Paddack could easily draw interest, especially for teams looking to make a low-risk gamble on his upside. If the Twins can move him without taking on salary, it's a win, creating room for younger, more reliable arms in their rotation. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. The third trade candidate is utility player Willie Castro. One of the bright spots for the Twins in 2024, Castro could bring the Twins a nice return on the trade market. At just 27 years old, Castro played everywhere on the diamond and hit for solid contact. He also led the Twins in plate appearances. Projected to make $6.2 million in 2025, Castro has trade value similar to what Luis Arraez had before he was dealt for Pablo Lopez. Moving Castro now might maximize their return while clearing some salary, with a utility player like Austin Martin ready to step into his role. Castro would be missed by the Twins, but his exit would not leave a gaping hole. So there might be some smoke to this. The fourth trade candidate for the Twins is outfielder and first baseman Alex Kirilloff. The once promising prospect has not been able to stay healthy, and his $1.8 million arbitration projection makes him a tempting trade candidate. The Twins are stacked with left-handed hitters, and Kirilloff has been surpassed by others in the pecking order. So at the moment, he doesn't have a clear spot with the Twins. A team looking for a cheap corner outfielder or first baseman might take a chance on him. And the fifth trade candidate for the Twins is outfielder and designated hitter Trevor Larnach. At 27, Larnach has struggled with consistency, but his power potential remains intriguing. With younger players like Matt Wallner overtaking him on the depth chart, Larnach could be moved for bullpen help or prospects. He played 52 games in left field, 10 games in right field, and 51 games at designated hitter. His trade value is not sky high, but in the right deal, the Twins could recoup some value here. So what does all this mean for the Twins? Well, it means that they're not truly selling, just moving some pieces around. By moving any of these players, the Twins can trim enough salary to get under the $130 million threshold, while at the same time replenishing their farm system or addressing key needs. It's possible that Minnesota could emerge from the wreckage of 2024 with a slightly more flexible roster and young talent that benefit the team for years to come. So this is definitely a situation to keep an eye on, as the Twins are expected to be one of the most active teams on the trade market this offseason. Then over to St. Louis. The Cardinals are heading into the offseason with some significant decisions, and it's clear that a roster shakeup is on the horizon. The team is in a rebuilding phase, focusing on developing its promising young core while cutting payroll. As a result, it's highly unlikely that they will bring back veteran first baseman Paul Goldschmidt, who will be a free agent this offseason. Despite being a future Hall of Famer, Goldschmidt's age and recent performance decline make it hard for the Cardinals to justify significant investment in him. Another key player who could be on the move is Sonny Gray, one of the Cardinals' top starters in 2024. Gray had a strong season, but the Cardinals are likely looking to offload his contract as part of their payroll reduction strategy. Teams like the Cincinnati Reds or Chicago Cubs could be a natural fit for Gray, as both clubs will be looking for solid veteran arms to bolster their rotations. Gray's experience and consistency would be valuable to any contender aiming for a postseason push. And the same goes for catcher Wilson Contreras, who might find himself on the trade block after just one season in St. Louis. Contreras has performed well offensively, but his defensive struggles and the Cardinals' desire to promote younger catchers like Ivan Herrera and Pedro Pages could make him expendable. As for where Contreras would go, teams with catching needs like the Miami Marlins or Boston Red Sox could be interested in acquiring Contreras, especially if they value his bat over his defensive liabilities. With his versatility, he could also serve as a first baseman or designated hitter for teams looking for a middle-of-the-order bat. As the Cardinals shift toward a younger roster, it's becoming very clear that their focus is on reinvesting in player development rather than holding on to their aging stars. While this means tough decisions about veterans like Goldschmidt, Gray, and Contreras, the organization is definitely preparing for a new era built around its emerging new talent. And finally, we're going to wrap up with the Angels. The Angels are in for yet another chaotic offseason. Owner Artie Moreno is still somehow convinced that the team will compete for a playoff spot in 2025. Moreno claims the payroll will go up, but not by much, falling somewhere between the $176 million spent in 2024 and the bloated $215 million from Ohtani's final season. Anthony Rendon's monstrous contract hangs over them like a lead balloon, and if Mike Trout could actually stay healthy and on the field more often, he would give the lineup a boost, but betting on that seems more like wishful thinking at this point. With a bottom 5 ERA in 2024, the rotation is once again in shambles. Moreno isn't likely to chase after big arms like Max Fried or Corbin Burns, so expect some middle-tier options in free agency, as they've continued to do for the last few years. Angels fans, buckle up. Unfortunately, 2025 already looks like it'll be more of the same. And there you have it, you've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Hit the like button down below, then take just 1 second of your time and make sure down below that you are subscribed to this channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.